Hello guys, welcome back to Maison African Motives. Still working on O-level mathematics. In this part, we are going to be focusing actually on the algebraic expressions. So this is a combination that I'm having here of past exam papers on the algebraic concept, working with factorization, expansion of actually is most of expansion of brackets, like the way that I see here. But we have got questions that are under factorization, which on this part we are not actually going to be focusing on. It's actually the expansion of brackets that we are going to be working on. So if you check here, that's it, guys. A combination of past exam papers and so forth. So we have got the first part of our question, which is question number 1. Let me just try to shift it this side, which is the question paper of June 2020. That was June 2020, paper 1, question number 19A. So some of these questions you can just also cross-check with your question paper so that you see exactly we have the same thing in this, or the same concept. So we are asked to simplify on number 1, that is simplify 4b minus 3 into 4 minus 2b. So what you need to ask yourself when you're given this type of a question, that's 2 marks for that. Okay, you just have to expand brackets, then you collect like terms. The term that is affecting the bracket is the one that is minus 3 in this case. That is the term that is that we are going to use to expand every part that we have, or every number, or every term that you're given inside the bracket in this case. All right, so let me just quickly have this. We are going to have the 4b minus 3 into 4 minus 2b. That was our question in this case. So let us expand and see what you're going to have. So that will be 4b in this case, negative 3 times 4. So you're multiplying negative 3 and 4 in this case, which is a negative and a positive, which is going to give us negative 12. The same thing, negative 3 and a negative 2b. So it's negative versus a negative, remembering that a negative and a negative gives us a positive. So that means here we are going to have a positive 3 times 2, which is 6b. So we are going to have 6b. Then remember from collecting of like terms that we can combine like terms. So that means we can add together the 4b and the 6b. So we are going to have this as 4b plus 6b, then minus 12. Minus 12 is not common to these terms. It's not a like term, it's just a normal term. So you can add 4 and 6, which is going to give us 10. So that will be 10b. So take note on your addition there, you are focusing with the coefficients, which is the 4 and the 6. Then we are remaining with minus 12. So we're going to have minus 12 at the end. So this is going to be 10b minus 12 in this case. This is how you simply simplify such given expressions, or expand such expressions. Even same concept, if you check on number 2, that is what we are having. We are having the same concept here. We're asked to expand and simplify. So what we simply need is from the question, this we are given as negative 3, that is negative 3 into x minus 7 plus 5 into 2 minus 4x, like this. So we are going to expand. Okay, so the first part is we are supposed to ask ourselves what is affecting the first bracket. The first bracket, that is this part from x up to minus 7. So this is affected by negative 3. So negative 3 is going to multiply each and every term. Negative 3 and x, that will be negative 3x, negative 3 and negative 7. So it's a negative and a negative, which is going to give us a positive, just like the previous part. So this will be positive 21. 3 times 7, which is a 21. The same thing with 5, that will be plus 5 and 2, which is going to give us positive 10. So take note also that you are working with a positive and a positive here, then positive 5 and a negative 4. So that's a negative. The first thing, it's a positive versus a negative. Then you can multiply 4 and 5, which is going to be 20x, but having a negative in this case. So just like what we saw in the previous case, collecting of like terms, that is, we are focusing with the terms with x. We've got x here, we've got x here. So this is going to be minus 3x minus 20x we are remaining with 21 and 10. So we are not, please take note, guys, on this part. We are not shifting any number, or we are not transposing any term like an equation, where if you transfer a term from one point to another, if you're dealing with one side of the equation, if you're given an equation, once you transpose to the other side of the equation, it's going to change its sign. Here we are not having an equation. This is an expression. So nothing is not term, not at any part of our terms here is going to change its sign. We are going to have our terms with the normal signs that are there. So the 3 with its minus, the 20 with its minus, the 21 here with a plus, the 10 with a plus. So each and every part is going to remain with its sign. That is what you're supposed to take note on your simplification. So here we've got -3 and -20, which is going to be -23 from our directed numbers. If you're having challenges on directed numbers, make sure that you watch the videos that I made on the directed numbers. That will help us a lot. All right, so we move on to 21 plus 10, which is going to be 31. So this will be 31 in this case. All right, so I think this part is fine. We are done. We are done in this case. We do not have any like term. Never be tempted to add or to combine these two terms. We are not having x. If it was x, then we can add those two terms, but we do not have x, so we can't or we cannot add or simplify this part. All right, so that was our question number 2. Question number 3, still on the same part. We are asked again to simplify this part here. Okay, let me just remove this part so that we can simplify properly in this case. All right, so we are given in this case to simplify again. That is 3 item 1. So this was from November 2018. Okay, so this is ax minus x into a minus b plus 2bx. So this is what you're given to simplify. Based on the same knowledge that we had before, even if we're just dealing with the letters, the issue is to expand the given bracket. So here, this bracket of a minus b is affected. This part is affected by minus x out of the bracket. So we are going to have ax. It's not affecting anything. So we multiply minus x times a. We are actually supposed to obtain minus xa if we multiply it properly. But just because of the first term that we have written this as ax, starting with a followed by x. So let us just have the same way or the same concept of writing. So this is going to be minus ax instead of writing as xa. Yes, we can write like this, but most of us, we confuse now to see that these two are actually the same, xa and ax. So it's best for you to write in the same way as the first term. Then you can expand minus x here and negative b. Just also focusing on the second term, it's bx. So we have got b followed by x. Let us have the same thing, b followed by x. So it's a negative and a negative, which is a positive. So that will be bx instead of having it as a xb. We are going to have it bx the same way that you're given here. So this is plus 2bx is not even affecting anything. So let us collect our like terms. Already we have got our like terms together. So this is same as 1ax minus 1ax. So 1 minus 1, which is simply gives us a 0. So that there's nothing. These two actually cancel. The same thing, bx is same as 1bx. So we are going to add 1 plus 2, which is going to give us a 3. So this is going to be 3bx. These are the like terms that we are having. We are having bx, bx. So we are simply going to add the coefficients, plus and a plus. So that is what you're having. So this will be your single term. As you can see, just a single term like that. Okay, the item 2, using the same concept, you're asked to expand, but this, it was actually given as x minus 2 squared minus x squared. This part here, it was a squared, and this was a squared. So it's just a mistake that happened on the editing part. All right, anyways, this was the part that you are being asked to simplify on question number 3. How can we simplify this? I'm not gonna rush in this part. I want you to actually understand Remember, if you are given to the exponent of 2 or to the power of 2, it simply means the number that is being raised to the power of 2, let's just say is 2 to the power of 2. Simply means 2 times 2. This is not supposed to affect us even if we are dealing with algebraic expressions like this. X minus 2 squared simply means we are having the x minus 2 that is being multiplied together. So we're going to have x minus 2 into x minus 2. That is what we are going to have in this case. Same way with 2 squared, which is going to be 2 times 2. So we're going to have this part expanded and having x squared at the end. But I want you to also take note, we could have used a normal identity to expand such type of expressions that are being raised to the power of 2. I'm going to explain that later on so that we can opt for other ways. We've got other ways that you can actually use. Okay, anyways, let us expand and see how we're going to have. So here we're going to simply have x multiplied to x, which is going to give us x squared. So x and x, those two give us x squared. And we've got x also multiplying the minus 2. So this will be minus 2x. I just hope we have the basic understanding of these terms, okay? Then negative 2 and x here, which is going to give us negative 2x. We still have negative 2 with another term, which is negative 2. So it's negative 2 times negative 2. So this will be a positive. For negative and negative, that's a positive. So meaning we have expanded these two brackets, and later on we are given that we are supposed to subtract minus x squared. We are supposed to subtract x squared. So that's what you're going to have. So if you are to collect your like terms, we are going to see that these two cancel. We've got x squared with x squared. This is, remember I say this is same as 1 and this is same as minus 1. So this will be 1 minus 1, which is a 0. So this part actually cancels. Do not have that part, okay? So we move on to x. This part of 2x and this part of 2x. This is minus 2x minus 2x. So we're going to simplify minus 2 minus 2, which gives us minus 4. So that will be minus 4x plus 4. We do not have anything to add to the 4. 4 is just a constant. It's it can't be added to negative 4x. Okay, so that is how we could have simplified this part. But like I said, there are some identities that we can actually work with, or that we can work on our simplification. I want you to take note of this identity. The major part that you're going to have in our syllabus is to expand expressions of this form, x plus a squared. Let's say that is the expression that you're given to expand. That's a positive 3, a positive 5, any number that you can think of to represent a. We can use this identity which says that this is equal to x squared plus 2ab plus b squared. I think you can memorize this. Just have x squared, the first term, to the power of 2 plus 2 times a and x. Okay, now I'm using, where am I taking? I'm just, okay, just related to the one, and just you see this part of being used, of working with some other terms. So this is supposed to be 2ax plus a squared. All right, so actually, that is what in terms of a. Okay, so if it was like say in terms of b, like a plus b squared, yeah, that's the one that I'm actually used to in these numbers terms. So this is just going to be 2ab plus b squared, like this. Okay, so it's just one and the same thing, x and a here. So I'm relating to x because most of our expressions are of x. We are having x, so you can relate to that way to say, if I am given from this concept, I'm given x plus 2 squared. Yes, I can expand the same way that I did here, x minus 2. I've got x minus 2, x minus 2, 2 brackets. But I can simply apply this identity that I'm having to say this is representing my x, and the 2 here is represented by a. So if I can memorize this identity, I'm just going to apply it direct to say the first part is x squared as it is plus 2ax. What does this part mean? We are simply multiplying 2 to a. Our a is represented by 2. So it's going to be 2 times 2. This is our a. So remember, you're supposed to have 2a. So 2 times, okay, sorry for that. Let me change this one. So it's 2 times our a in this case, which is 2. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4. But remember, there's x. So it's going to be times x, like this, 2ax. That's what it means in this case. So this is going to be 4x. All right, plus a squared, which is the last term, our a raised to the power of 2. Our a, this term 2. So 2 to the power of 2, that will be a 4. So we can simply expand that by just knowing our identity, or just using those two brackets, which is one and the same thing. So that is what you're going to have. So if it is a negative, it's just going to be the same thing, x minus a squared, just like this. But here we are going to have a negative. So it's going to be x squared minus 2ax plus a squared. So I want you to prove with this identity to say x minus 2 squared, the one that we're given before here. If we expand using this identity here that I've stated, we are going to obtain x squared minus 4x plus 4. So this is just an additional part that you can just use to your advantage. If you know this, it's to your advantage. But still, we can still you can just apply the normal way, expand the two brackets just like what we saw here. Expand the two brackets as usual. You can actually have the same answer or same concept. All right, so that is our question 4 in this case. Let us check the other part of our question, which is now on question number, okay, that was question 3. Now question number 4. On question number 4, we're asked to remove the brackets and to simplify further after that. So it's not just removing brackets, but to simplify also. So this, we are just going to apply the same concept. We've got actually so many ways that you can use, but I've explained, if you check from the first part, I explained the expansion of this way. I explained it this way, where I'm expanding 4 and this, and then 4 is going to multiply this part, b is going to multiply this part, b is going to multiply this part also. All right, which is fine. But let us explain another way which can be of benefit to all of us. If you check, we can also expand this typical question where you're given 2 brackets. What you can simply do is to let the first term expand everything in the second bracket, which is 4a. So this is going to be equal to 4a into everything that is in the second bracket, which is going to be 5a minus 3b. So it is the same thing with a b. B is going to expand everything in this bracket. So it is going to be plus b into 5a minus 3b. So this is going to give us exactly the same answer, just with that normal way that I explained before. So you just choose which one is best. Is it for you to expand with 4a, expands everything, then the b also, it's fine like that. Okay, but this is just to our advantage, all of us. All right, so anyways, 4a is going to affect everything. So it's 4a versus 5a. So 4 times 5, which is going to be 20a squared. 4a and minus 3b, which is going to be minus 12ab. Take note, this is a, there's b there. The same thing, b, so this is just 1. So the same as 1b. So it's 1 times 5, which is simply a 5. So that will be 5ab. Instead of writing 5ba, just write it as 5ab, the same format that you have here. All right, so we move on to the next term. It's a b and negative 1b. So that would negative 3b. So it's positive negative, which is going to be negative 3b squared. There is b, there is b. So this is going to give us a b squared. Then we can collect our like terms. Do we have like terms? This part here, we have got like terms ab and ab. So you're going to collect the like terms. And also, whenever you are dealing with such type of an expression where there is a square on the first part we are raising, we have got power of 2 and we have got another power of 2. Always make it a possibility for you to write in the same way, to have it in the form that we had before, 2ab plus b squared. So make it a tendency that the first term is going to be to the power of 2, the last term also to the power of 2, when we have got terms raised to the power of 2. Do not mix this to say now it's going to be a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. Not that way. So we are going to have in this format. So make sure this one you write in this format. All right, so you're going to combine minus 12 plus 5. This is ab and ab. So we're going to have our directed numbers there, minus 12 plus 5, which is same as 5 minus 12, which is minus 7. So that will be a negative 7 simply. 12 minus 5, we get a 7. Then we take the sign of the bigger number, which is a negative 12. So that will be a negative 7ab. So we're going to have negative 7ab, negative 3b squared. These terms cannot be added together. So that is what you're going to have on your final answer. Like I said, if there is a squared and a squared, make sure the first term has a squared, last term a squared, then the other terms in between the squared. That is how we're going to have it. So that was our question number 4 in this case. All right, so let's just hope with the time we're going to be able to have a lot of questions. Number 5, remove brackets again and simplify. So this one, I'm just going to take it direct. I think now we are used to this. So on question number 5, what we're going to simply do, the first part, we do not have brackets. We're just going to remain as it is. Then we expand with negative 3, this bracket here. So negative 3 is going to affect x, which is negative 3x. Negative 3 is going to also multiply negative 2y. So it's negative, negative, which is a positive. So 3 times 2, that will be 6y. Okay, so we collect our like terms. Do we have like terms here? Like I say, this is same as 1x. So it's 1x and 3x. These are our like terms. So 1 minus 3, that will be minus 2x. Okay, 1 minus 3, that's minus 2. Then we've got minus 2 plus 6, which is the same way. 6 minus 2, which is going to give us a 4. So we're going to have 4y in this case. So we're going to remain with minus 2x plus 4. So this one is direct. Okay, same with number 6. Also using the same concept like the previous part, but this one, we can just use the normal way. We can just use, remember I expanded from question number 4, we had the same condition if you check. So I'm not going to use that method of expanding this bracket to another. So I'm just going to take direct the way that we are used, a multiplying to 2a, direct like that. So a times 2a, that's 2a squared. Okay, we do the same thing. A multiplies minus b. So it's a times minus b, minus ab. We move on. We are done with a. So we move on to minus b. Minus b and 2a. So it's going to be minus 2ab. The same thing, minus b and minus b. So the first thing is to take negative, negative, which is going to be a positive. And b and b gives us a b squared. So as you can note, we are having b squared, a squared. So we are going to combine these terms together with the same format that we are having. All right, so this is same as negative 1. So we are going to have this as 2a squared minus 1 minus 3. Minus 1 minus 2, what are you going to have there? That will be a negative 3. So we've got minus 1 minus 2, which is going to give us negative 3. If the signs are the same, just add the numbers, then you take the common sign as it is. So that will be minus 3ab plus b squared. All right, so this is what you're going to have. That is how you simplify actually this typical question, and not also on the format of your presentation. A squared, the other part there's a squared, then AB in between. That's how you're going to present your answers always. All right, number 7 is the same concept. If you check here, it is the same concept as question number 6. But anyways, let's see how we are supposed to have this. Okay, question number 7. So if you check here, we are given to expand again. This is 2a minus b into 1 plus c. Okay, I didn't actually cross-check with the question paper to see if it is actually a 1 here. Maybe it was a, but if it is a 1 like this, then it's fine. When I expand, so here we are going to have 2a multiplied to 1, then also 2a we multiply to c. Same with minus b multiplies 1, minus b multiplies with c. Same concept, guys, as you can see. But anyways, let's see what you're going to have. 2a and a, this will be 2a. Then we've got 2a times c, which is going to be plus 2ac. It's a positive and a positive. Okay, we move on to minus b and 1. So it's minus b times 1, which is minus b. Minus b times plus c. So it's minus and a plus, which is going to give us a minus. B times c, that's bc. So you have to check, do you have like terms here? We do not have. This is there, we just have a. Here we just have b. This is ac, this is bc. So we are done. We do not have any like terms. So do not force to simplify terms which cannot be simplified further because of knowing that I'm just supposed to have like terms. It's not like you are supposed to have like terms always. No, sometimes you might not have a condition like that. All right, let's see the other part that we have, which is on question 8. Let me just try and increase a little bit. Number 8, on the removing brackets again. So here we are asked to remove the brackets and to simplify further, just like the previous case that we had. All right, so let's just have our question. This is a plus 2 into a minus 3 minus 3 into a minus 5. All right. So if you had to take note, we have got the first part here that we need to expand, then the second part. So we've got two parts that we're going to work with here. The first part, we can easily apply the same concept. We said a here is going to multiply with a. So a times a, that will be a squared. Then a and negative 3. So that will be negative 3a. Done with a. So a multiplies every part of the second bracket. So up to this part, that is where we are ending. All right. The same thing, we are done with a. We move on to plus 2. So it's plus 2 and a. So if you multiply plus 2 and a, that will be plus 2a. Then we move on, plus 2 and negative 3. So it's a plus and a negative, which is going to give us a negative. So 2 by 3, that's a 6. We are done with this, these two brackets. But we still have another bracket, which is on the far end here, which is being affected by a negative 3, this part. So the negative 3 is going to expand everything. That's negative 3 times a, which is negative 3a. The same thing, negative 3 multiplies with negative 5. So this will be negative, negative, which is a positive. So we're going to have 15, 3 times 5, which is 15. So at this stage, collect like terms. We are supposed to collect our like terms, or to simplify the part that has got like terms. So we're going to have a squared. The like terms here, we are referring to a, and a, not with a squared. These are not common with a squared. They must have the same exponent or the same power. If they are not having the same power, then they are not like terms. So that is what you're supposed to consider on your simplification. Now, we can rewrite this. It's fine. Minus 3a plus 2a. We take this one, minus 3a. We are remaining here with the minus 6 and 15. We can just start with a positive 15. Then we end with negative 6 is fine. Then this is going to give us a squared. So here we're going to collect minus 3 plus 2. So it's minus 3 plus 2, which is going to give us negative 1. We are remaining with minus 3. So negative 1, negative 3, which is going to give us a negative 4. So that's negative 4a. 15 minus 6, so that will be a positive 9. So that is what you're going to have in this case. All right, so as you can see, it's just a normal or just something that we are used to, but only that some of these questions you have to be careful now to say, I've got two brackets first that I need to work on. Then the other part, I'm going to work it later. So that is how we can actually have this on our simplification. So as you can see, these are the questions that you might have. On question number 9, it was the same thing again, but this time we are just given a direct application where negative 2 can simply affect everything inside the bracket. So this is going to be 5m, negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 3m. So it's a negative, negative, which is going to be a positive 6m. So collecting our like terms, we've got m and m on this side. So we're going to add 6, 5 and 6 in this case. This will be 5 plus 6, which is 11. So we're going to have 11m minus 2x. Can we simplify further? We do not have like terms, so there's nothing that you're going to do in this case. All right, then we've got this most important question that I'm seeing here, a word problem actually, where we are given that Mary has got 3x minus 4y dollars and Diana has got 2y minus x dollars. So this is the amount that you're given in terms of x. All right, so we've got the expression for Mary in this case in terms of the amount that she had, which is 3x minus 4y in this case, and the amount for Diana that she had in terms of x and y also, which is referred as to 2y minus x. So the question that you are given here is to write down in terms of x and y. Take note, we are supposed to have x and y on our final answer. The simplified expression for the amount of money that Mary has more than Diane. Let's say Mary has got, let's just say $50 in this case, and Diane has got $20. How were you going to find how much Mary is having more than? You're going to simply subtract the amount of Mary 50 minus 20. That is what you're going to do. You simply subtract. But now we are not given numerical values that we are used to. We are given in terms of x. So this is not going to change. We are going to simply have the same thing or the same concept in this case to say the amount of Mary minus the one for Diana in this case. But here we are going to write in terms of x, which is 3x minus 4y. That is the amount of Mary minus the amount that then had, which is 2y minus x. So this is going to give us the difference that she had more than Diana. All right, so you're going to expand. As you can see, the first part, actually, there's just a 1. So this bracket is going to remain as it is. This is now a negative 1. So take note on your simplification. You're supposed to indicate the brackets so that you know which part is going to affect the bracket. So 1 is going to affect everything from the first bracket, which is not going to change. 3x minus 4y is not going to change. From this part, it's going to be negative 1 times 2y, which is negative 2y, negative 1, and negative x. So it's negative, negative, which is a positive. That will be positive x. So collect your like terms. Just like the previous part, we've got 3x plus x, in this case, minus 4y minus 2y. So this is going to give us at the end, this is just same as 1x. So 3 plus 1, which is going to be 4x, minus 4 minus 2, this will be a negative 6y. Okay, so this is what you're going to have at the end. So also be very careful. Where there is y, they collect the terms with y together. Then where there's x, you collect those terms with x together. All right, so that was the first item that we are given. Then the other part now, we are given that Mary has got $12 and Diana has got $8, find the value of x and the value of y. What are we actually given here? We are given now the numerical values to say, before we are given an expression. All right, actually this on our final answer is supposed to just have this way. Your presentation is going to be 4x minus 6y, like as an expression. That is how much more she's going to have. Okay, what I was trying to say here, guys, is that if you are to consider what you have on item 2, we are given the numerical values which corresponds to these amounts, that the $12, that is for me to say this has got $12 in actual sense. But here we are given in terms of an expression. So this corresponds to $12. And for Diana, it corresponds to $8. So if this amount is corresponding to 12 and this is corresponding to 8, how can now we determine the value of x and y? Because that is our question, to find x and to find y. What are we formulating? If you are to check here, we are simply formulating simultaneous equations, because we are simply saying Diana before, it was given as 3x minus 4y. Now we are told that this 3x minus 4y, the amount that she had, it is equal to 12. The same thing, I mean this one for Mary, sorry. Then we move on for Diana. In this case, we are given that Diana, her amount is given as 2y minus x in terms of x. But now we are given the exact amount that she had in terms of the numerical values, which is what? Which is 8. So a formed simultaneous equation, all we need here is to solve. So I've actually talked of different methods on how to solve simultaneous equations. If you do not understand them, please make sure that you watch the videos on those methods, elimination, substitution, and so forth. So here I'm gonna just apply substitution method is okay, just for the benefit of others, maybe who it's your first time to have substitution method in your simplification, so that you can prove with your elimination or with your substitution method. Okay, I mean with your elimination by substitution or any other method that you use. Okay, so it is easier for me to work from equation 2. I've got equation 1 and equation 2. If you have to check from equation 2, it's easier for us to make X the subject. So I'm going to take that as an advantage. All right. So from equation 2, so I can just have from this part here from equation 2. All right. So from equation 2, which is given as 2y minus x, we're just going to make x the subject there. 2y minus x is equal to 8. So to make x the subject, you can transpose x minus x to this side so that it can be a positive. Then 8 to this side, it will be a negative. So we're going to have 2y minus 8, which is equal to minus x to this side, it will be a positive. So as you can see, we are now having an equation which represents x, that x is equal to 2y minus 8. So I'm going to take this as the other equation, which is equation 3 that I have formulated. So what I can simply do, because I have made this from equation 2, that's where we made the subject. So we are not going to substitute into equation 2. No, we are going to substitute into the first equation, the expression that we have here in terms of x, to say where there is x in equation 1, we are going to substitute the x that we have in equation 3. So here we are going to substitute, that's here, we are going to substitute equation 3. So let's just write this way, equation 3 into equation 1. All right, so what does that part mean actually? If we are saying we are going to substitute equation 3 into equation 1, our equation 3 is given as 2y minus 8. So in place of x here, we are going to have as 3 into x. X is an expression. Take note, it's given as 2y minus 8. So you open a bracket for that. So that will be 2y minus 8. We have substituted x. It was supposed to be 3x like this, but we do not have that x now. We are going to substitute as a numerical value, which is 2y minus 8. The other terms, they are going to remain as they are. Minus 4y is going to remain as it is, which is equal to 12 is going to remain as it is. So if you check your equation, it's now only having values of y. It's in terms of y now. So it's easier for us to solve for y because we're just having one variable there. So we can expand by 3 times 2, which is 6y. 3 times negative 8, that will be a negative 24. Okay, then we've got minus 4y in this case, which is equal to 12. All right, so this is what you're going to have. So if we are to collect our like terms, we have got 6y and 2y and 4y here. So it's 6 minus 4, which is going to be 2y minus 24, which is equal to 12. All right, so you've taken the like terms, or in this case, the part that has y and y together. So now we can transpose minus 24 to the other side of the equation so that it can be a positive. So that's 2y is equal to 12. So this will be 12 plus 24. It was a negative. So on the other side of the equation, this will be a positive. So that means we are going to have 2y is equal to, if you add, that will be 36. Okay, so just divide by 2 here since we are multiplying. So y is going to be 18. That's 2, 1, remainder 1 into 16, which is 18. So we have the value of y in this case, which is 18. So you can now take note, you can substitute this value of y, which is 18, into any of these equations. You can substitute back into equation 1 to find x. You can substitute into equation 2. You can substitute into equation 3. So the best equation that you can use is equation 3, since it's in terms of x. Already from equation 3, we said, or we have written that x is equal to 2y minus a. That is what you're given here. So you can simply substitute now because we have the value of y. Already x is the subject. So x is going to be 2 times y, the value of y, which is 18. So it's 18 minus 8. So x is going to be 2 times 18. That's 36 minus 18. So we can simplify further. So x is going to be 36 minus 8. Okay, 36 minus 8, sorry. So this will be a 28. So we are now having the value of x. So the question is just for you to solve the value of x and to solve for y. So you can actually even prove back if you substitute back these values to see if you are actually having the same concept from what we had in this case. Okay, so we can substitute these values back into the equation, that any of these equation, to see if truly we are having the same thing. All right, so these are some of the typical questions that we might have, word problems actually under algebraic expressions. All right, number 11, still simplification. As we can see, back to the normal simplification that we had, just have to expand, collect like terms. So that will be 4x minus 3 and minus 3x and 2x. So this will be minus, it's a positive and negative, but x and x, that will be x squared. Then we move on, minus 3 and minus 5, a negative, that will be a positive. So this will be positive 15x. All right, so from there we can collect like terms. If we have got like terms in this case, do we have like terms? Yes, we've got the 4x and the 15x. So this will be 4 plus 15, which is 19. So we're going to have 19x minus 6x squared. All right, so this is what we are going to have at the end. All right, but I think from the normal question, it was actually, okay, the actual question that was there from the question, it was actually like this. This is because when I'm editing these things, they remove some of this. Okay, it was supposed to be 4x squared like this minus 3x. I just cross-check now. I'm not certain, but just also check if it is like this. Okay, anyways, maybe a question might be given like this. How do you simplify it? If it's a condition, maybe you are given a question like this. So this will remain as 4x squared. All right, then here you can expand minus 3, just like the previous part, minus 3 and 2x, which is going to be minus 6x squared. So here we are going to have negative 6x squared. Negative 3 and negative 5. Negative, that will be a positive 15x, just like the previous part. But now if you have to check, we've got like terms here, x squared, x squared. That is where you're going to focus on. So it depends with how your question is given. So this will be 4 minus 6, which is a negative 2, x squared plus 15x. All right, so questions might be given in different ways. Let us just know how to attempt these typical questions. This is the most important part of our syllabus. Just an application, that's what they want from you, just to apply. Just like question number 3, still have the same thing here. If you can just expand, we are given 3x plus 2y in this case, which is into 2x minus y. So you can just have the same approach or the same technique, just like what we had from the previous questions. Just expand by 3x, the first part, so it's 3 versus 2 here, which is going to be 6x. So you're going to have 6x squared, not just 6x, but x squared. So this will be 6x squared. Then the same thing, negative 3x to negative y this time. So it's a negative. First thing is that we are supposed to have a negative, is a positive and a negative there. So this will be 3xy. Since I've written the first part as xy, I'm supposed to maintain that same format, all right? So remember, this is a plus 2y and 2x now, so we're going to expand 2y to 2x. So 2 times 2, that will be 4. So we're going to have plus 4xy, okay? Just like what we had, yx, xy. Just wanted the same thing, all right? Then 2y versus negative y in this case. The first thing is a positive and a negative, which is going to give us a negative. So we're going to have negative 2y squared, y versus y. And remember what I said, where there is a squared and a squared, these two terms, one is going to be at the first part and the one at the end. So we're going to have the one at the beginning of our expression, then the one at the end of our expression. So this will be 6x squared. We collect our like terms, that is negative 3xy and 4xy. So that will be 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3, that's 1, guys. 1xy is just same as xy. So that will be xy. Then we are remaining with negative 2y squared. That's our last term, negative 2y squared. So on negative 2y squared, there's nothing that you're going to do there. Just leave your answer as it is at this stage. All right, so that is how we could have simplified this typical question. Let's check number 13, which is just confusing a little bit, but everything is direct there. If you check properly, all right, so if you check properly here on question 13, I want us to focus on question 13. This is the major part. Or let's see what we're gonna have on this part here. So question 13, we are given in Is to simplify, just a simplification, okay? Simplify 6x plus 12x divide. Check note, guys, how your questions they are given as. So this is 6x plus 12x divided to 3 like this. What does this part reminds us? The first thing that we are given a plus divided into the same expression, it's the body mass, guys. So we're supposed to be opting for our body mass. Some they use bomb dust, which is one and the same thing. So here we are focusing much on this part to say division and addition. Which one is going to start? It's a division. So meaning to say we are going to be focusing with these two terms which are dividing. All right. So in actual sense, let me just take it as 12 so that we do not confuse now to say, what about the addition? These two, the 12x and the 3, we divide this. Then we add according to the addition. So meaning to say the first part is going to remain as it is. So this is going to give us 6x plus we divide 12x divide by 3. So we are dividing like this, 12x divided by 3. So this will be 12 into this, that will be 4x. So we are going to have 4x. So if we add 6 and 4 here, we're going to have a 10. So we're just focusing on the like terms to say x and x, which work with the variables, which are the coefficients from these variables x. We work with their coefficients, which is what 6 and what 6 and 4. So that is how you could have simplified these typical questions. Then number 14 is the same concept again. Just expand, like the same concept like what we applied from other questions that we had before. So they were given to simplify or to evaluate or to remove brackets and simplify the expression. So we're going to have our expand direct according to what we have in this case. All right, so 3 is going to multiply everything. 3 times 5, so this will be a 15. 3 times negative x, this is the same as negative 1x. So that will be minus 3x. All right, minus 2x versus x on this bracket. On this first part, we are done just normal term. So minus 2x and x, that will be minus 2x squared, minus 2x squared. There is x and x, which is x squared, minus 2x and 3. So it's a minus here and a plus, which is a minus 3 times 2, which is going to give us 6x. So that is what you're going to have. So from here, we can collect like terms. Taking note, this is a quadratic expression that we are working with, where we are supposed to have it in the format of ax squared plus bx plus c. So always try by all means to maintain this format. Yes, you can start with a constant c followed by bx followed by ax squared. It's fine. The order is very, very important. So if you check, the x squared here is carrying a negative. This is the first term that you're supposed to make x, the part that is got squared. So that is minus 2x squared. We move on to the terms with x, but these are like terms. We can simplify them together. Minus 3, minus 3, minus 6. That's a negative and a negative, which is going to just remain as a negative. You add these numbers, 3 plus 6, which is going to be 9x. If the signs are the same, add your terms, then just use the common sign. Then we are remaining with a 15, so this will be a plus 15. The order is very, very important. How you formulate your quadratic expression. So this was supposed to be the exact format of writing this answer. Or we can start with the constant in a vice versa. In the sense, we can see that the first term is carrying a negative. So we could have simplified this starting with 15. So it would be a positive 15 followed by negative 9x followed by negative 2x squared. So this is how we could have simplified this question. So these are algebraic expressions. Algebraic expressions, very, very important in your syllabus. Very, very important. Like when I'm saying very, very important, I'm saying it's actually the basics that you're going to that you need in your syllabus. In order for you to move on, you need this basic part. All right, just to know the idea of an expression, a term, and so forth. How do I work with these terms, and how do I solve questions? Sometimes they might extend to those questions whereby you're solving equations like simultaneously or just a normal equation. But for now, guys, that's what we had from Mason African Motives. Till we meet again.